Welcome to an exciting new enhancement known inside TimberScan as embedded pay or pay control. For the next couple of moments, I'm going to demonstrate how the product works. Basically, TimberScan, the AP routing and approval process, will continue to operate and work as it always has. Invoices are acquired, entered, approved within TimberScan, and then sent on to Sage 300, where the financials and accounts payable are updated. At that point, that's where the embedded pay program takes over. So basically how it starts is inside Sage 300 CRE, we would choose our print checks option just like always. But instead of actually sending the payments or the checks out to a physical printer, instead we choose the option called Print to Avid. Once we select this option, the information will be transmitted back to TimberScan, where the payment process can be controlled from there. So we choose Print to Avid, say OK. It sends the data that would normally be sent out to a physical printer back into TimberScan. From TimberScan, we then have the ability to go into what's known as the pay control system, where we'll go in a moment, but we've also developed a couple of dashboards that allow us to see, for example, payments by vendor if we so choose, and also payments by pay type, depending on what it might be. Inside TimberScan Go, we have two new menu items, one called Avid Pay Payments Control and the other called Avid Pay Payment Inquiry. We're going to start with Payments Control. So let's say that we've gone through that process, we selected our checks to print, and it sent the data over here to TimberScan. So if I go into Pay Control, I'm going to choose the items that I need to approve, and then without doing any filters, I'll just go ahead and do a search. So I've now called up my 3 payment records or checks, if you will, that I selected when I was processing in Sage 300 CRE. I'm just going to go ahead and call all of these up for right now. And you notice that the way that this is designed would be the exact same experience as if I had just printed physical checks, and I now wanted to be able to look at the check, look at the stub information, but additionally also be able to look at the invoice. So if I want to view the invoice, I simply call it up, see the invoice image on the screen, and I'm able to then scroll through and go to my next check and so on and so forth. So from a check signer or check approver perspective, all of this information is right in front of me here. I could simply approve this particular payment. I can put it on hold if I decide that maybe I want to wait for some other process to take place. Maybe we're waiting for a lien waiver to be returned or something like that. And I can also void this particular transaction. If I void it, it will send it back to Sage 300, and it will force me to then create another payment or another check at a later time. And again, if I scroll through to the next invoice, same process here. I can go ahead, call up the invoice. Not only does it bring up the invoice image, but it also brings up any supporting documents. So now I have a full packet of information that allows me to control the release of payment, the release of funds. It started when I executed the check selection in Sage 300, and there's no loss of control. I know exactly when I want to release these funds by simply selecting this particular payment and approving it. From there, it gets sent to the Avid Pay network, and then Avid Pay, working with that particular vendor or subcontractor, determines how that vendor wants to be paid, which gets us to the second phase of pay control or pay inquiry, which is the ability to see how that process took place once that payment record has been completed. So if we go back here to the payment inquiry, again, I'll do just a random search. What I'm able to see are all of the transactions that have taken place so far and what is their current status. So I can see everything. I can scroll through each of these particular transactions. Not only can I see the status, I can also see how that particular vendor is going to be paid or was paid. I have all of my information basically at my fingertips here. And if I were to scroll down through some of these records and maybe perhaps, or let's even create a filter first. So we'll go in here. We'll say, let's just choose everything that has been cleared for right now. So I can go through, I'm doing my query, build my query from here. I can then scroll further into this. And if I want to, I can then call up and view the proof of payment record right from here. So I have the complete process from the time that the invoice execution took place and was updated into Sage 300. I'm able to use the print to Avid function to drop it back into TimberScan. From there, I'm able to see proof of payment if the process has already been completed, and I can also see and manage the entire pay control process. And you can also download these proof of payment transactions as well. So if I wanted to call it up and then use this to be able to attach to a substantiated billing, for example, I can do that in addition to being able to just see it on the screen. So this is an overview of the pay process that we've embedded inside TimberScan. We're very excited about this, and we hope that you'll be able to see this as an advantage to be able to completely control that pay process and also be able to do everything electronically. Thank you.